Hello, I'm back. My name is Giselle Loomis. I'm an author, audiobook narrator, and producer. So this week, we're going to talk about my beach city cozy murder mysteries, Patsy. Just to give a little background really quick. The reason I came up with there right now there's 3 books available in the series. I plan to do 12 books total. I was inspired to do this because of my mom and my cousin Shirley and my dad. Um, um, she passed away in 2017. My dad passed away in 2018, and my cousin Shirley passed away also in 2017. But my mom was very much into what she called window popping, window popping. And I guess it's like hereditary because her grandmother did the same thing. Her mom did the same thing. Of course, my mom does it, and I'd like to think I don't do it, but yeah, I kind of do. I kind of do. But basically, she would look out her window and and be nosy, see what's going on around her neighborhood, and she would have her window open, listening to everything that's going down on the street, whatever. And her imagination would go run wild, right? That's where I get it from. But, um, but my cousin Shirley would come over. She was my dad's first cousin, whatever. She would come over, and her and my mom kind of became best friends. But she would get into it too. They would start making up all kind of crazy stories about what's going on the street. Okay. And then my dad would reluctantly, he'd never admit it, but he'd get in there involved in it and start making up stuff too. But anyway, my mom and dad, they were very much into watching crime movies, crime shows. And, they loved, back in the day, Hill Street Blues. My mom loved Murder, She Wrote, and she loved Hallmark. So it's like, and so I came up with the idea of planting my mom, dad, and Shirley into the fictional world of Beach City cozy mysteries. And I just use their first names and some of their personality traits. It's all fiction, make believe, it's all in my head, okay? But so there's 3 books so far. The first one is Spilling the Jelly Beans. The second one is the Santa's Helper Bites the Dust. And then the third one, that the most recent release, is Nailed It. It looks like this. That came out a few months ago. And I guess I'll start with Spilling the Jelly Beans. It opens up with Pat and Shirley. They have a sweet tooth, right? They decide to make a candy store run. And when they go into this candy store, they discover the owner of the candy store's body. So that just starts a whole thing where they want to know what happened. They want to figure it out, and Pat's son Byron just happens to be the detective that's on the case, and of course he wants them far away from this investigation. It's murder, for crying out loud, right? But of course they feel like they found the body, so it's their responsibility. They have a right to find out who did it. Like, they're retired, they have nothing better to do, they want to find out who did it. So that's Spilling the Jelly Beans. I love that. And then Santa's Helper Bites the Dust. Pat and Shirley are out walking their dogs, and they discover a body in the park. Turns out the body is the boyfriend of Pat's niece, who's here out visiting from college. And so it introduces the character Abby, who is Pat's niece, who is the paralegal, who will become the paralegal. And that's how they're going to end up getting involved in cases, okay? So I love I love writing these. I never knew so let me back up a little bit. Most of my stories and what I started writing were romance novels, right? So I tend to write novellas now, shorter, and that way people can read it probably in a 2-hour, 3-hour span, which can be frustrating since it takes months for me to write a book, right? But and people can read it really quick, but it's okay, right? But anyway, and I should have, in hindsight, I realized, yeah, I should have used a pen name, used a different name, the branding thing, but it's kind of too late. So it's all under Giselle Loomis. The romance novels, the sci-fi, the cozy mysteries, it's all under Giselle Loomis. And I do also do poetic thoughts, but I'll get into that another time. But anyway, back to Beach City Cozy Mysteries. So this one is the most recent release. It's Nailed It. Okay. And it opens up. I do have to admit that the opening scene is actually a story that Shirley once told me and my mom about. She was jilted, right? She had ordered some tile. I believe it was either tile or carpet. And the guy came in and they installed it. And then by the time they had finished installing it, she's like, wait, that's not what I ordered. And she got into an argument with the guy. And he was about to leave without, agreeing to take it out and put in the right one. So she jumped into the guy's trunk and she refused to move. And of course, in real life, it did not lead to murder, but I thought it would be kind of fun, not fun, well, whatever, but it would be kind of interesting if it did lead to murder. So now, so for the sake of this book, she makes all these threats. The character Shirley makes all these threats to the contractor, and of course, he turns up murdered. And now she's the prime suspect because the cops were called. They heard her make the threats. She's on top of the list, right? So Pat, Shirley, and Abby, and Augie, they're on the mission to prove Shirley is innocent. So again, it's short. See, it's thin. And for the sake of the series, all the books are probably going to be short. So that's now available. I will put a link to the book down below. Please subscribe, press the little bell button to get alerts about the new videos that are released. And thank you for watching. Peace out.